If you've come across this video, that means your sunroof is stuck either open or closed or halfway or some way that's frustrating and it just started raining. Now you have to put plastic bags or trash bags over it until you figure it out. You went and looked it up online for your part for your new sunroof motor, and it's about $500. Or you get some off eBay for a junkyard or something like that for like 50 to 100 bucks, and it lasts for 2-3 months. You don't know how long it's going to last because you don't know how it works. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on how to repair these things. Really, pretty much they just either replace them or replace them. So we're going to break this thing open. If you have any Toyota, I think between the years of, I want to say 2000 to possibly 2009, don't quote me on that, I haven't done in-depth research, but pretty much if you have a motor that looks like this, has 3 screws or however many screws on that side, most times it's 3 screws, you are in luck. All you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, some sandpaper, and some replacement magnets from China, right? So this one is already repaired. I went through my trial and error, so let's go ahead and break this down. So those are the new ones. The old ones should be in here too. Oh, here we go. So separate them. Those are the new ones. So this is what the old brushes look like, right? And this is why most of the time they fail. These are the magnets. And I'm about to break this thing open, and these are the new ones that we're going to install. I already repaired this one. I've already repaired this motor, so you're not going to need any solder. I'm going to make this as simple. Let me back up. I'm going to make this as simple as possible for somebody who has minimal tools. You know what I'm saying? We want the cheapest and most effective repair. Now, this pack that I got comes with 10. So you have some trial and error. You got 2, 4, 6, 8. I got it right on the first try. Actually, I had another set of motors, some magnets that I used from a grinder. Matter of fact, from a grinder. It works on the same concept. So we're going to go ahead and crack this thing open so I can show you what's going on the inside. So only thing you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, some sandpaper, and a little precision screwdriver, or just something small to be able to manipulate the springs. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. So let me show you. There's 3 screws. That's what we're attacking right now. Alright. And like I said, this one's already repaired. It's working, it's functioning perfectly. It took me 1 try to do it because like I said, I did it with my grinder, my extra grinder brushes that I had, just to see if it would work, and it did. But I sanded down the magnets too small. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna show you exactly what you gotta do. First, we're gonna go ahead and open this thing up. So be careful when you're taking this off because it's a strong magnet. It's probably gonna try to pull the stator, because I'm gonna show you when I open it up. Yeah, it's gonna try to pull it out. I think I'm going to take the screwdriver, take the flathead, and try to hold it in place while I pull it out because it's really strong. Yep. Alright. Got that. Yep, it pulled it out anyway. Alright, it came out. No big deal. So on the inside, you see those 2 springs? Those are the ones that I sanded down and put in there. Right? Now, initially, what I was going to do was actually solder the wires directly to the board, the circuit board, because there's a circuit board in here. You can access it by popping open these clips. There's certain clips all the way around to open this up. Matter of fact, we can do that just to show you that it's very simple, and that there we go. 2. Let's use 3. And you probably want to do this anyway, just to kind of check for if the circuit board is damaged or anything like that. If you see anything that's burnt, crap. This thing wants to give me a hard time. Come on, don't break the clip. Alright, this thing is giving me a hard time. Let's just, oh, there we go. This tape holding is just a small corner. This one corner is being a butthead. Come on. I think it's the tape holding it. Yeah. This one corner does not want to come out. It's probably gonna break. Oh, no, it didn't break. Okay. So you want to inspect the circuit board, make sure you don't see anything burnt. We're on the contact wires. These are the power wires going to your circuit board. This is your input. Make sure you don't see anything burnt on the inside of there. So that means the circuit board is cooked. But this one is good. Like I said, it's already been tested. I just want to show you that it's pretty simple to take apart. If you really want to get in there or replace something like this, you know, there's probably a part for it. I don't know the part number, but it wasn't necessary with this repair. Like I said, and this is why I like the Japanese, because they make things simple and repairable, not things that you absolutely have to replace completely. So getting back to this, so all I did was twist the wires together, and it worked perfectly. It worked fine. I'm just gonna, and I just tucked them down in there. So I'm doing this just to show you guys, you know, that this is possible, and it's inexpensive. All right, it worked perfectly. See, I just twist the wires together. So when you cut, give you a tip, when you go to cut the wire from the original, right, what you're gonna do is try to cut it as close to that magnet as possible. That way you have a good length on the one that's going to the circuit board, just in case you messed up or if you have to cut it again or something like that. So cut it as close as you can. Use a pair up. Forgot to add note too. Use a pair of dikes. These are rusty, but they work. Actually need to oil these things up. But and a pair of dikes you can use. I don't know if you have scissors. If you don't have, you know, a pair of dikes or something like that, you can use a pair of scissors or whatever. So now getting into here. Now there's these springs, it's just down, that hold it in place. All you're gonna do is get your little smaller screwdriver, and you're gonna push down on it and pull away. All right, boom, it comes off just like that. And you could just rotate it out the way, and your magnet slides right out. Right, we're just gonna do one side. All right, so what I did was, see, these are the same magnets, just like these, but as you can tell, it's smaller. So all I did was take one of the old magnets and file it down, sand it down to about the same size. Right, it wasn't perfect, but it worked. And if you look closely, you can see where it's actually rubbing on the stator. So how this works is, each one of these copper plates have a different polarity, north and south, right? And it rubs on there. It gets electrical current and it rubs on there, and it causes something called induction. I'm not going to get to the science of all that. And then, if you notice, these plates right here, they're on a slant, slight angle. And then on the inside of here is a magnet, and what it does is causes induction. Right? Damn, this thing's greasy. It causes induction, and it allows this motor to rotate. Right? Also too, with this contactor, you want to make sure this is clean, because a lot of times it'll just be that's messed up. It'll just be this that'll be really dirty, because the first time I took this apart, it was just super dirty. I cleaned it up, it worked perfectly. But then over time, now that it was working fine, I was like using my sunroof for everything. Like I was like I kept hitting the switch. So you can use some rubbing alcohol and a Scotch Brite pad or something like that. Don't use nothing too abrasive. Do not use sandpaper on this. All right, and just spray it, clean it up, or whatever. Get it back nice and shiny. You know, I already cleaned this one up, so it's fine. So what you're gonna do is take your sandpaper, right? Take your new magnet and just rub it back and forth. This is 80 grit. I actually use this on my belt sander. You're gonna need a flat surface, either a table or you could glue it to a block of wood, something like that. The first time I did it, I used this. I used the belt sander. This is 120 grit that's on here right now. So I'll show you. 120 grit, and it took it off too much. It took off too much. It was slightly too small, and you don't want that. You don't want that because what that's gonna do is inside of the slots that it slides down into. You can see that where the space where it slides down into, it'll be too big. It'll have too much play. You want this to kind of have a nice snug fit. Slight little bit of play, that's fine, but because you want to allow it to go up and down or whatever. So and the thing is, if you mess it up, it's no big deal. If you sand it down too much, you got a whole bunch more. You got 8 more that you can try with if you messed up the first time. This costs literally $9. This pack of 10 costs $9, right? Sandpaper, what? You can get a pack of 120 grit for like less than $5-10 or something like that. I don't know, it depends on where you go to, right? So once you get it sanded down, all you're gonna do is slide it back in place. Take your wire, twist it up real nice. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's nicely tight, round up. And I just tucked the wire. Wait, let me rewind that because you want to have a little slack so I can move up and down. All right, and this is why I stress you have to, because this is all the length that's on it for the one that's in there, because then you'll have to take it apart and do some soldering and solder a new wire to make it longer. And you want to use braided wire. You don't want to use wire with a plastic coating on it or whatever. And just tuck it down in there. Tuck it down in there and out of the way. All right. Same thing for the other side. Just twist it up and just tuck it down in there. All right. So when you go to install back the stator, I'm going to release both springs. You're going to have to release the spring. So like I said, all you do is push it in and come out with it. That's it, simple as that. And move it out the way. Then you're going to push your magnets up and out the way. All right. That way you can reinstall your stator. Just slide it in if you have to. So I'm doing this like this. We'll just move the magnets out the way. You kind of hold it like that so it can slide past the magnets without messing them up or getting them greasy, and boom, it drops in. So now once you got that part installed, take that spring, push it back against it. Do not lose these springs. All right, and you just push it back down into this little hole that it goes into. This one will start fighting me. I'll take a little finagling sometimes. There, boom, pop into the little hole. And we'll just do the same thing for the other side. Just take it. Alright. Like I said, be careful, do not lose that spring. If you got to put your finger over the top of it so it doesn't jump out and fly off, especially if you got like a junky garage or you're doing it somewhere in the house where it'll like get lost in the carpet somewhere, that's a silver carpet, and then you find it like 6 months later when you step on it, and bam. So I just tuck those, make sure those wires are tucked down in there. All right. And then when you go to reinstall the magnet, here's the thing with this, the trick with this is that it's going to want to snatch that back out, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to kind of hold it in place when you go to push it down on it, and make sure you line up the holes. You got 2 holes on this side like that, instead of putting it that way. Then you have to take it off and do it all over again, right? And now also make sure that it's rubbing and actually contacting on that surface or whatever we said. And then you might have to sand it a little bit more, try to get some type of curvature on it, but over time it'll kind of just rub down in there. So that's in there. So now we're going to reinstall it. I'm going to hold it down with my finger a little bit, and boom, push it down. That's it. Now screws in. Oh, tip, forgot about this. I have tape over the holes where I forgot about this. Yeah, because you will lose these nuts. It has these little nuts right here, and they tend to fall out and get lost. I was lucky enough to find this. I dropped it in the driveway and leaf blowed. I had did some lawn work, leaf blowed, and it was still there. I was so happy. So I would suggest put a little bit of tape over that so that does not come out. All right. Boom. Dude, I'm talking about, I'm saving you guys so much money right now, and it was so simple. And I had to think of a way, because I was going to solder it and all this stuff like that. And I was like, man, everybody doesn't have a soldering iron and stuff like that. And then, you know, that's even more frustrating. Just actually getting in, depending upon what type of vehicle you got, even just getting to this thing is a pain in the butt. In some cars, you got to take off a bunch of crap just to get to it. So, put that in. And, oh, if there's some other videos on this about manually closing your sunroof, I do recommend that, but make sure you got the magnets and stuff like that all out the way, and then you could actually turn it, take this cover off and turn it by hand or whatever to close the roof all the way. Once you get this closed, right, when you go to hook up the power to it, when you plug it in, make sure that if it's all the way closed, that you hit the button to go to the closed position, because then you'll have a fight with trying to get that gear to line up properly with the worm gears, and you know it'll be working, but it won't close all the way, won't open all the way. And this has a certain like, matter of fact, right there, a start and stop position where it starts on and it stops on, and it won't go past that. So that's another quick tip or whatever. So make sure your sunroof is completely closed. So let's go ahead and plug this in. Let me go ahead and show you. Matter of fact, yeah, let me plug it in and I'll go ahead and show you that everything's okie dokie. All right, so now we got it plugged in, and we're gonna hit our switch. Look at the torque on that thing. Look at that. So like I said, it's gonna stop in a certain position when you press your button. So make sure you have it in all the way closed position. And if you got your sunroof, make sure your sunroof is all the way in the closed position before you install it. If you have to manually turn it to get it, I'm telling you, I'm saving you a whole lot of time and headache, because you will have this working fine. You'll have it, you know, the motor running, but then you'll have an hour and a half, 2-hour fight with trying to get the sunroof back to where it's supposed to be. And that's frustrating itself. Trust me. Ask me how I know. So back to this. Now I believe, let me make sure. So I gotta look at how, okay, it goes in like that. So it's in the closed position. So make sure we, yep, had it all the way open. And then it won't go any further, right? And that should be right. So now we're gonna install it, and I'm gonna show you that it actually works. Wait. I got it wrong. Did I plug it back in? Man. I forgot to plug it in. Dang it. I was about to say, hold up. Forgot to plug the sucker in. I was too busy focused on just getting it back in there. That was stupid. Let me take it back out. Crap. Alright. Got it installed. Bam. Just a little bit open position. Then it locks all the way in. And also to the okay, so we're golden. So like I said, it might take you a couple tries, you know, but you can do it. So thank you for watching. Share, like, and subscribe, man. I know this is gonna save people a bunch of money, and yeah.